This guide revolves around farming a rare collectible, Nightflower Pollen, to trade for tickets redeemable for max level decos, relic pieces, and armor spheres, and is intended for late to end game players. Before starting your collecting, you'll want to set some things up first to make this as efficient and easy as possible. Firstly, you'll want to make sure you have the Windward Plains pop-up camps for Area 3 South and 10 Southeast. You can see them both circled on the map here in red. Secondly, you need to be HR 21 or higher and have spoken to Isai in Kunafa Village to get his side quest, A Leviathan's Temper. Lastly, you need a decent stock of guild points. You need 125 for the pop-up camps, up to 1800 for lunar phase resets, and thousands more for shop resets, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. First, let's take a look at those camp locations. To get to the camp in Area 3, from the base camp, travel outside to the right through Area 1, and turn left into Area 3. Looking up, you'll see a wedge beetle. Grapple it and jump to this ledge. Build the camp up here. To find the camp location for Area 10, from the base camp, jump off the ledge right outside of the base camp and run down to the left towards the water. After crossing the water, you'll find the pop-up camp straight ahead. Nightflower Pollen is only collectible at night during a full moon, and the game must transition from evening to nighttime. Thankfully, we can force all of these conditions relatively easily. Start by entering the tent at the Area 10 camp we just built, and rest for plenty and nighttime. The weather conditions don't actually matter for the pollen, but they do help by keeping the sky clear for us. After resting, jump off this ledge and run down the slope here. If there are large monsters nearby, just throw on your ghillie mantle. I like to run to this location here. Look to your left at the horizon and wait for the moon to rise over this mountain. After the moon rises, check which lunar phase you are on. In this example, I can see that I'm currently on the waning gibbous phase. If I refer to this chart of lunar phases, ignoring the new moon as that does not exist in Wilds, and count the number of days until the full moon, I see I need to skip 6 days. Go back to your camp of choice and rest for nighttime the number of times required to get you to the waxing gibbous phase. In my example, that's 5 rests. Once you've completed your rests, you can check the moon again just to be sure you have done things correctly. As a side note, you must be in a lobby for the resting to actually skip lunar phases. This can be a private lobby, and in my testing, does not work in squad lobbies. Once you are sure you are on the waxing gibbous phase, rest one more time, but this time for evening. Now go to Alma and launch the optional quest, A Leviathan's Temper, to hunt a tempered Balahara. You don't actually want to hunt the monster, but this quest allows us to reset map conditions and starts at late evening. You can also set your starting destination as Pop-Up Camp 10 Southeast. Now that you've launched into the quest and are at Pop-Up Camp 10, you want to run up this hill to this flower and wait until the time transitions to nighttime and the ephemeral blossom should bloom. Collect your pollen, and then open your map and fast travel to Subcamp 3. The ephemeral blossom location here is a bit tricky to reach. It's up on this plateau here that seems inaccessible at first glance. The most consistent way I've found is to sprint with your sacred into the wall, just to the right of this wooden container, and aim into the corner here, then leap off. You should grab the ledge. Run just up here to collect your second pollen. After you've collected your second pollen, that's it. You can return from the quest, and after arriving back at the base camp, talk to Alma again and launch the same quest to repeat. A full run should look like this. Launch quest, run to Area 10's blossom location, wait for the flower to bloom, collect the pollen, fast travel to Pop-Up Camp 3, jump up the ledge, collect the second pollen, and return from the quest. You can repeat this process until the lunar phase naturally shifts and the flower stops blooming. The Nightflower pollen can be traded for one of a pool of 3 items: 1 gold melding ticket, 1 gold relic ticket, or 3 hard armor spheres. Speak to Nata at any base camp and select item trade, then select Sekka. If you don't have Sekka, she can be found in Suja near the base camp. And check for a Nightflower pollen trade. If Sekka doesn't have any, or is not offering a trade that you want, enter your tent and rest for any time. Resting resets the item trader's inventories. Repeat this process until you have traded all of your Nightflower pollens. A side effect of resting so much is that it advances the timers of your material gatherers, so be sure to collect your items from them. In just about 30 minutes, I was able to collect 24 Nightflower pollens. 24 gold melding tickets nets you 240 of the highest level weapon decorations, or 480 of the highest level armor decorations. All of this repeated resting can be a bit intensive on your guild points, so be sure to check out my guide for farming points as well. And if you like Monster Hunter, why not check out my Twitch channel? Thanks for watching, and happy hunting!